Yeah, so Todoist is pretty similar to some of these other tools that we've been learning about and that have been demoed today. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on how I personally use it and the features that I use. So let me I made some slides that I can show and focus on some different parts of the projects. And for me, it's been great to use it to pass off tasks and keep a record. And I do use Jira a bit for some of my other projects, team collaborative projects on my project team. But I find that this is a bit more flexible than Jira. And I'm also not super tech and engineer focused. So it's been really helpful for that. So some of the different features that I use, I like to use a list view for some of my projects, especially my community managed projects. So I run a community of educators that use our platform, and I like to use the list view because this allows me to plan out different events. So I have some different outreach events that are coming up, like a listening session that's coming up in the spring. So I kind of created my checklist of each thing that I need to do and was able to assign all of these to myself because I'm doing all these different parts of the project, and give myself the different timing of when I want to have it completed. And so within here, I can also add all these different links and notes, which I'll show you. I can also draft text in comments, which is really nice. And I can keep track of all these different pieces within this listing and within the comments that are available. The other view that I use is the board view, which is really similar to what we saw earlier with Trello. And so with this view, I've been using it for more my content calendar. So it's cut off a little bit, but I have a generic layout. So for each day, what I kind of like to focus on. So most of this is Twitter, but some of it's also like things I need to boost from different like news posts that we do and other, or if we're releasing like a YouTube video, if I want to boost it on there. So I have it planned out a lot for, like on Mondays, like I have a welcome to meet on Tuesdays. This is what I'll post. And then I have different projects that I need to schedule out. So either these haven't been scheduled yet, or they're going to be scheduled. So just so I know that they're upcoming. And then I actually have the planning for each month is how I've broken down the content calendar. So for January, like I have something due that's coming up next Monday. And then I also have a webinar that I'm doing in a week. So I have each of these different tasks, and I can even give them tags. So we have some job openings at KBase. So I have a little Twitter tag, and that serves as a reminder. And then I can also check it off, or once January passes, I can just move it over to February and have it so that those are just the items that are still open. So that's how I use the board, and you can also switch between. It's nice, like this little view button up here allows you to switch between the list and the board view. So it just differs a little bit like that. And then the other sort of project planning we use is for content pipeline. So similar to what Lou was showing earlier with some of the comms, we have a few different lists, and it's nice you can expand the lists and condense them. So here we have like some content ideas. So I want to do a community interview. So I need to contact the person I'm going to interview, schedule it, make sure the script's all ready, and then have the release. And there we have like another one that we want to do as well. And so these are just some ideas that have not yet been executed. And it's nice because I can take this and I can actually drag it. So once it's mostly complete, I can check off, all these different parts. I can move it to the ready to be written. And oops, let me go back. And it's nice because then I can keep track of like what's in progress, like what is currently being written. And then once it's ready to go out. And while you can also have every completed, you can view the different completed tasks. I like to, or with this project, we like to use use a separate list of like what's already been posted. And if for some reason I need to switch, like I can't do this project myself, or I need to assign it to somebody else, you can, on this collaborative project, I can assign this to somebody else. So, or if I've, say I've gone through like written a blog and I want it to be reviewed by one of my colleagues, I can either create a subtask, or I can create or I can just reassign that task to them and add a different due date on there. So that's pretty nice. And so then some of the features I really like to use are the notes and comments. So here's an example of like the job openings we have. So in here, I've stored different links to the job announcements that we have coming up. I can also attach different items. I think I can even do a voice memo. I've never done this before, but I think that's pretty cool if I wanted to add a little voice memo for myself or for somebody else. You can even add an emoji and different comments, but I really like using these comments. And I can also notify somebody if it's not my task. I can comment and notify them that I have commented on their task. And I can delete these. I can throw in emojis on them as well. And then I can assign the due date, as well as sort of like if it's a Twitter post or a news post or any other item that I want to give it. So this is how I use the comments function. It's really so I can just put all my thoughts in one place, or all the materials I need for the different tasks, without needing to go and search for them. And so the other item that we really like to use as well is kind of like to create a project template. So for one example I have is the webinar template. So we have this, which is a checklist, and it has like all the different tasks for the webinar to get it set up and then to promote it. And so this can also be duplicated and then thrown into any of the other projects that are on the board. So this is all like within the outreach project is where our webinars live. But all these different items are different projects, and that's where you can view those separate list view or board view, like I showed you with the content calendar. And most of my projects are collaborative. So like I'll get assigned the tweets for the webinar. Ben, who does most of our outreach, will kind of like do the scheduling, create the registration form. And then he'll like assign me to tweets, or assign me to make sure that I'm sharing the recording and whatnot. And so that's nice. I don't have to think about it. Like I know like once it's ready, once the YouTube link is ready to go, I can just get a ping that it's ready, so that I can line up those tweets when it works in my schedule. And then I can also have like projects that are just mine if I want to, like if I don't want to really share these or like pass things around too much, or I'll also kind of use my inbox for personal items, or if I really want to break things down to really minute tasks. Let's see. And then I had one other part, which is that I like to use is the daily and upcoming list. So I can either have the items that I just viewed for today. So here's January 18th. I have a few different things. And I also have, I can view just today, or I can view upcoming. So this has today, tomorrow, Thursday. And this is really nice because these are all the different tasks across all of the projects I have. Okay, I hear you, Katie. I'm wrapping up. And so if I have too many tasks on one day, I can just move them to another day. And just real quick, Todoist, I pay $36 annually, and it does take some time to build out and create new projects and tasks. But I really like it for that little serotonin boost when I check something off my checklist. And it's super easy to move items around between projects and days and assign to different people. So yeah.